But hands to the sides, not into the microphone.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Not so much this.
Yeah.
Moose on the back bar.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, exactly, right?
True story.
Yeah, buddy. All right. Go ahead and get started?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. Well, first of all, thanks everybody for tuning into another episode of the Bermuda Podcast. I'm Max Herman, your co-host. With me, as always, Taylor Durden. And tonight we have a couple of special guests. Anybody that's worked in Ybor City hospitality has either worked with one of these gentlemen or probably got a couple of drinks from them. Tonight we have Scooby Olivier and Kevin Crocker. Thanks for coming, guys.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate you.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks for having us, guys.
Glad to have you.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, legends in the Ybor City hospitality game, and honestly, probably have a couple stories that feel free to tell. You know, there's nothing on the radio here. You can get X-rated if you need to, and you can get into everything of all Ybor weirdness. That's what we're looking to do.
So should we change the names and places to
Yeah.
protect the guilty?
Yeah, I would probably, if I were you, just go, let's just call him Rodrigo or something.
I
you know?
will say that I have the show listed as explicit, so it's okay.
There you go.
Well,
Exactly.
it's not the explicit. It's do we want to let the guilty get away with it?
Right.
It's that disclaimer at the beginning of Law and Order.
Yeah.
The names and places changed to protect
Exactly.
that.
And wait, speaking of places changed, we actually had to do a little adjustment because the Tabernacle of Oddities is this weekend. I don't know if I mentioned you guys have an obligatory tattoo after this. Ybor Muta, real big on your chest or your back, whatever you want to do.
Tramp stamp's fine.
Yeah,
I'm
tramp
okay
stamp's
with that.
fine.
Yeah.
No, so we're
Skies
upstairs.
out, guys out?
Yes, yeah. That's where I got mine. You know, what can I say? But glad to have you guys. First of all, we'll go individually. Tell us a little bit about when was your first experience in Ybor? What was the earliest memory you had in Ybor, Scooby?
Oh, man, my earliest memories of Ybor, I was born in Tampa.
Mm-hmm.
My family's from here, so we spent time coming down here, the Columbia and stuff. But I'd say my first core memories of Ybor would have had to have been preteens, so like 12, 13 years old, in that kind of area. We used to skateboard through here, and obviously Guavaween and sneaking out and running the streets.
Absolutely.
Going to like the Gasparilla Night Parade. You're spending the night at a friend's house. But the friend's parents don't really care what you guys do. So
we're going to bed. Don't worry. Yeah. Hop out the window and head to 7th Avenue. Everybody's really, the more I talk to people, they're like, my earliest memory, definitely getting in trouble here, sneaking out and coming to Ybor because this place just has that kind of draw.
Yeah.
Kevin, what about you? What's your earliest memory here?
For me, it's slightly less time. I didn't move to the Bay Area until I was in high school, and it was over on the Pinellas side. Mm-hmm. I've been in local hospitality since 2006, and didn't come out to Ybor probably, I don't know, somewhere 2009, 2010. It was probably, and that was before I ever worked here, and then I started working proper in Ybor in 2017.
Yeah, and sucks you in, man. I mean, what can I say? Once you get your foot in the pool of Ybor City, you're gonna jump in.
Yeah, it's like being gang related. You're never fully out.
Exactly, right?
Well, that's why I called this Ybor Muta, because it's like the Bermuda Triangle. A lot of people it sucks them in. Mm-hmm. Some people survive, some people don't.
Yeah, what can
Cocks
I say?
in, cocks out.
Yeah, buddy, that's right.
And people come and go, but they tend to come back and reminisce, even if they don't live in the area. I mean, Scooby and I have worked at bars together, specifically at one, Rock Brothers Brewing.
Yeah,
on
man.
the corner of 8th and 15th.
Rest in peace, one of my favorite places.
That building was several different things over the decades, including a bar. It was a home for a artist community.
Yeah.
A bunch
they made
of
Muppets
things.
and stuff up there.
The
that's
Monster
cool.
Factory was really cool.
Oh, wow.
When I first went to Ybor City Jiu-Jitsu, it was in that building.
Correct.
And right next to it was the Monster Factory, and they had these huge foam monsters in the window. It was really cool.
I had no idea.
That was
about
back when MC Film was still in the corner there as well.
Wow, that's aging yourself a bit there.
Yeah, I'm a little old.
So it was several different things over several different decades, and when we were there from 2017 until when it closed last year, we had dozens of people come in that had worked there, lived there, been around.
But maybe that was 2 years ago.
Is it 2 years
It's
now?
2 years ago,
Man,
Wow.
Blink your eyes.
Jeez
Time goes
Louise,
by.
man.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
You know, a place that you love like that, though, 2 years, it feels like it's been a decade. I mean, like when it closed down, I remember the going away party was fantastic, but I still remember, like, I'd go in there at noon and hang out with you guys or Hillary or whoever was there and just shoot the shit, talk Ybor stuff. Like, hey, what happened this weekend? What happened last weekend? All this stuff. And when it closed down, I remember walking by for the first time being like, damn, I'm not going back in this place.
It was a really cool and unique business on a couple different levels. For it to be, it was really 3 businesses in one.
Right.
At its core, it was a craft brewery, but then it was also a music venue.
Right.
It was also a craft cocktail lounge. Any one of those 3 things could have been its own business, but to do all 3 of those under one umbrella.
Right.
I mean, I've been in hospitality most of my professional life, and I've done and see things there that I've not been able to do in any other facet of my career. So it was really cool. Really, I mean, Scooby was actually the opening bar manager, and he was who directly mentored me in terms of craft.
Yeah.
I'd worked in nightclubs in South Tampa for about a decade,
Right.
and had never done craft before.
Right, you're
So
just
that
pouring
was-
shots.
Right,
You know,
exactly.
Like a
shots.
speed tender.
100%. Make it
yeah.
cold and make it quick.
Right.
I need 15 vodka sodas on the fly. Let's
Yeah,
go.
exactly.
Right.
Which there is an art too, but it
Yeah.
very different from craft.
Oh, yeah.
And from the professional side, I was excited, but also terrified.
Right.
I
Absolutely,
mean, you know, I thought there was, naively thought there was a lot of book learning and all these things that were going to have to happen. And at the end of the day, bartending's bartending.
It's reputation.
And
Repetition is what I meant, yeah.
Muscle memory.
Muscle memory.
And I had this guy sitting next to
Right.
me who gave me the
Wayne Gretzky over your shoulder helping you out, you know?
literally a bartending wizard.
Yeah, right.
Literally a bartending wizard.
No,
so-
it's professional alcoholic. Let's
Yeah, that's a better way to put it.
well, look, let's be real. Like I always tell everyone that I'm a professional alcoholic, but the deal is, everyone else is an enthusiast. You pay us to do it, so we get paid to do it.
Yeah, you are a pro.
But our lives revolve
definition.
around
He gets taxed.
alcohol. We get taxed. But our lives revolve around alcohol from the time we get up to the time we go to bed. It's what are we ordering? So I
Right.
got to order this. My paycheck is dependent on alcohol, and I get paid for serving alcohol.
Right.
Professional alcoholic.
Yeah.
Let's call it what it is.
I mean, and I love the way you put that too. And honestly, you know, being in the Ybor environment of Rock Brothers too, throwing you in the fire, but also having somebody like Scooby running the place. That place, first of all, thrived when it was open. I would tell people, they'd be like, "So, what's your favorite bar? What is it? Bad Monkey? Yeah, it's great. What about Reservoir? Lots of fun. But you want a really good spot to go? Go to Rock Brothers, man. You're gonna have a great cocktail. They make amazing brews, and upstairs is probably a concert going on. So,
Yeah.
Well,
you know."
we had what, like 45 Grammy Award winning artists from
Right.
the time we opened to the time those doors
Really?
closed.
Dude,
Yeah,
I was going to ask you guys
wild.
about that. Like, I mean, you guys have probably snuck up to those shows once in a while. Do you guys have any particular ones you're like, man, I can't believe I'm watching these guys on this intimate stage? Yeah,
Several.
I love how you both looked at each other too. Like,
Several.
yeah.
I mean, the amount of artists, even if you're talking like singer-songwriters that came through there,
Yeah.
we had a multitude of those. But I think my 2 favorite shows, and this is selling it short because they're not what the embodiment of Rock Brothers was. The Squirrel Nut Zippers did 2 nights
No
in a
shit.
row, and they did 2 shows each day.
nights, yeah, it was
and
amazing.
they were fantastic
Yeah.
in that space, because you're talking, it's 150 people seated, 200 standing.
Right.
So that was a standing room show.
Oh, it was intimate
but,
as
but
fuck.
then you've got, what, 10 people on stage?
Yeah.
And then they're marching through the 200 people in the room.
Wow.
That was something.
cool.
And then we had the infamous String Dusters, and Rolling Stone magazine actually came out for the show.
That's cool.
Because it was the smallest venue these guys had ever played.
That's amazing,
Wow.
man. No, I remember, like, I would go to those shows and I'd be like, oh my God, I could almost, like, just reach out and touch the performers and stuff like that. You don't get that very much for these big names.
And that was the thing for some of these guys. They're playing literally like arenas around
Yeah.
the world. And the last time that they were in a building that was that small was, you know, years and years and years ago. We worked specifically with Ken and Drew from Sister Hazel.
Yeah.
We brewed, I think, at least 2 different beers.
Yeah,
two different beers with them. And so we had several concerts with them over the years. Most of their shows would just evolve into them shooting the shit with the crowd.
That's cool, man.
And the crowd ate it up. Like, it wasn't like, play this song, play
Yeah,
that song.
yeah.
They just sat, and you could tell that both the audience and Ken and Drew were heavily digging the whole thing.
I bet.
Oh, man, neat.
There were nights that we would have to politely ask them to wrap it up.
Yeah, right.
Because they would sit down with the remaining guest up there, and then they would have drinks, and it was just kind of like a storyteller. So they would like MTV's Green Room, right?
Yeah,
They
yeah.
weren't playing
Tiny
they
desk,
weren't playing
yeah.
it, but they were telling it.
Yeah.
and they were
Oh.
telling their stories, and that was.
On top of the guests, just the room itself had superb acoustics.
Yeah.
You'd have these guys who are professional musicians. They're on tour day and night. And they come in and they'd be like mid-conversation, and they would stop in the middle of whatever, and they would just start to look around the room, and they're like, they immediately could hear it.
They
You're
sense
like,
it,
oh
yeah,
man,
yeah.
the sound in here is really good.
Yeah.
And we had a phenomenal sound system, but you could cut that thing
Yeah.
and do an MTV Unplugged.
Dude, and that's the kind of thing that like Ybor kind of needs another venue similar to that. I mean, Crowbar is fizzling away away, sadly. And what are we going to do for concerts, man? I mean, the Ritz is there, but that's a big theater, you know?
I 100% agree. I would love to see more buildings utilized as music venues in and around the city.
I agree.
Absolutely.
We spoke with Tom recently, and we were talking about the
Tom DeGeorge,
the death of the small venue like that, and I guess he's working on a bunch of different programs to bring more to the area.
I would love that.
We discussed how my house, I have a basement under my house here in Ybor.
Yeah,
how rare is that?
That's right. Yeah, right.
And one of my dreams is to host basement shows, like old school basement shows.
Get these guys on board to do the drinks.
Rad.
I mean,
I hear you guys talk about Rock Brothers, and I feel so guilty because admittedly I'd only been in there a handful of times, and I never really took advantage of the place as much as I should have, because it was usually just a stop on my walk. I don't know if you know Arthur Hiraki.
Oh yeah,
but
very well.
Arthur and I would end up, we had what we called like Sunday shit shows, where we just absolutely got blasted on Sundays and would bar hop and whatnot. I mean, we would get completely drunk and we would ride go-karts at Malibu Grand Prix and run kids off the track, cackling the whole time.
Very Arthur.
We would, we'd be at Skipper's just getting absolutely star-spangled hammered while eating, and then and we would make our way through. And I remember the first time he brought me, he was like, "Oh, we gotta stop in this place." I think it had just opened. He's like, "We got to stop in this place, get a cocktail real quick." And hell, if I barely remember it. I remember being a really cool bar. And every time I stepped in was basically a story like that. And it's a shame that I never made it one of my main like homes, like I do a lot of other places here.
To what Kevin was saying, so I can tell you probably one of my fondest interactions with artists there, because we were interacting. Like I was creating cocktails for these bands, or like JJ Gray, I did a whole actual blind tasting bourbon experience with him, because he's very particular about what he likes. So I gave him a whole gambit of some really high-end whiskeys and put his favorites in there too. He nailed it on his. He knew exactly which one was his.
That's amazing.
Tasting. Couldn't tell the other ones, but he knew his makers from all the others, which is great. But I think my favorite artist had to have been Phil Vassar. I knew who he was. He walks up, knocks on the door, because we weren't quite open yet. It was just before like 2. Hey, I'm one of the artists that's playing here tonight. You mind if I check out like the venue? I just want to see where I'm playing at. So he said, yeah, sure. Walk him upstairs, walk him through. And it was one of those moments where he stopped. He was talking and just stopped and looked around the room and was like, wow.
Magical.
Cool. Magical. I mean, he's a Grammy Award winning, multi-Grammy Award winning artist. And humble guy. Not I'm the artist. I'm one of the artists that's playing tonight. Gets up on stage and just rocks the house. Like everyone loved it. That was,
man, I hate that I missed all this. I really do.
A case can be made though that is kind of indicative of nightlife culture, hospitality culture in Tampa in general. Is there's all these amazing moments that were for a brief period of time, and if you didn't know about it, if you weren't dialed in some way, you missed it entirely. Or I mean, I can't tell you, just coming here to Ybor, the things that I know that I came in at the tail end of. For example, Fumabella.
Buddy.
Is an amazing local.
We talk about it a lot, man. You want to talk about lightning in a jar?
That place was amazing.
I went there for the first time on the night that they closed.
Oh man!
Yeah, I took them on last night.
For years. I'd heard about it, and their scheduling was kind of always a mystery on when they would be open. And it just the way it shaked out is I didn't get there until the last day. And I feel like that's, you go anywhere in Tampa, that it's just, you have to know where and when to go and get on the train as quickly as possible.
Yeah,
absolutely.
That's the thing. You gotta jump on it while you can. And then across the street, another great venue for music across the street from Fumabella, New World Brewery. I mean, I saw amazing concerts, stand-up comedy there.
Man, all kinds of stuff.
I mean, just right around the corner from that was the original Orpheum too.
That was my favorite version of Orpheum.
That was definitely the best version.
I saw so many great shows.
I concur.
We talked about. I've gotten so many street fights out in front of that place afterward.
The sink or swims.
Oh my God, out of control.
But back to Fumabella. Dirk is doing Fuma. I think it's the third Sunday of every month.
He's doing pop-ups at Laura.
Actually, my birthday, September 7th. I told her, I'm like, I'm coming in there. And it's coming up. I don't know when this is gonna air, but it'll be way past after that. But I told Suze, I'm like, my birthday's September 7th. She's like, You get drinks on me, buddy. So
that's great.
I brought drinks tonight, so
we're gonna skip to that because I'm ready to drink. So Scooby, we're gonna have you plug your thing, but tell us a little bit about your new product that you have here.
So I now work for a new brand called True Story Whiskeys. Same family that created Angel's Envy. It's the Henderson family, but their legacy goes beyond that.
Yeah.
Lincoln Henderson worked at Brown Forman for 40 years. He created Woodford Reserve, Gentleman Jack, Jack Single Barrel. Then he and his son Wes created Angel's Envy. They sold to Bacardi in 2018.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, they just launched this brand last year, so it's Wes and his 6 sons. So it's literally a generational legacy of whiskey,
Cool.
and it's really cool to taste them all together. But True Story is the best evolution of the whiskey. Like this is really the next step. The bourbon's great. It's great for hot weather drinking.
Yeah.
It doesn't sit heavy on your palate, so it doesn't trick your mind and be like, oh, God, it's heavy and it's hot. It's like, oh, this is light. It's still going to be the whiskey that I'm looking for. We get what we need out of it. It's finished in Portuguese white muscatel barrels.
Oh, wow.
So it's a Portuguese white wine. Softens it a little bit.
Yeah.
But also gives it these really bright notes, which makes it seem lighter, more refreshing. But the rye.
Oh, boy.
Man, the rye.
I saw your face change when you said that.
Well, I love this. So I did a tasting earlier today,
Yeah.
and everyone I told was like, oh, "You've never had a whiskey like this before," and they're like, "Yeah." They roll their eyes,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
whatever. And then they try it, and it's like their eyes bug out of their head like in a cartoon. They're just like, "What did I just put in my mouth?"
Oh, yeah.
And then they're like, "What is this flavor that I'm chasing? What is going on?" And they're trying to describe, because it's triple barrel finish. So it is Pedro Jimenez sherry, Oloroso sherry, and Brazilian Amburana.
Okay.
Cool.
So you get a lot of
I'm
really
excited about
cool
this.
flavors
Yeah,
with
man.
this. Again, there's no whiskey like this on the market.
Yeah.
These guys literally took their legacy from their grandfather and built something. And
I mean,
they just embellished.
and these are
on it.
guys that could have sat back and counted the money. I mean, they made a
100%,
fortune.
yeah.
But they were like, no, we need to turn something new out of this. Like, take what we made and make it even better.
Actually, the youngest of the 6 boys just turned 21.
So he just now can taste it.
2 years ago, yeah.
Yeah.
But they're all in it. Like that's why there's 6 sides to the bottle. There's a representation of each of the
cool.
boys, but it's the family, and it's from the table of the Henderson family,
Yeah.
an American whiskey legacy. Pull up a chair.
Yeah, I love that.
And
yeah,
it's a true
man.
story because there's a story in every bottle, right? Like we're telling stories right now, but
Right.
we tell a story while we're pouring it.
It's all
But we're
connected.
also creating a story in that essence. So whether you're telling a story or making a story, there's a story in every bottle. So pull up a chair, sit down,
Yeah.
and let's have a whiskey.
I like
Well,
that.
Yeah, if you want to say something, Kev, go ahead.
Well, there's so many different levels to that story and different their significance with everything that they do with the brand. I just want to take a moment to plug one other thing that Scooby's working on.
Yeah.
It's something that's in development.
Oh, yeah. It's onlyfans.com/Scooby.
It's
Feet pics of Scoob, guys.
it's even better than that.
Bearded Demon at OnlyFans. But no, kind of in relation to what we're talking
It's
about.
Cocktail Daddy, get it right?
Yeah, cocktail daddy, love it.
No, but kind of in relation to both the brand and to what we're doing right now, sitting down and telling stories. Something that gets asked a lot of both hospitality professionals and bartenders specifically is you get just asked about your job a lot. Like, what's
Yeah.
the craziest thing you've ever
Right.
seen? What's your favorite night at work? What's your, you just get all of those kinds of lines of questioning that get deeper into it. And when bartenders get together, we tend to talk about these things. And, any one of us could write a book and probably have 1,000 stories in it,
Yeah.
and none of them would be the same.
Right.
So along those lines, Scooby's actually working on developing something he calls Garnish Confessions.
Oh, I love that.
Do you want to talk a little more about
I
that?
like this.
Yeah, so I started a Instagram page. It's called Garnish Confessions.
Okay.
Like every good cocktail needs a garnish.
Yep.
Every story needs a garnish to it. But these are the tales of bartenders and service industry. I'm compiling them, but more so than just putting it into like a book, I'm putting it into an event. So we're gonna do an event probably once a month, where we're gonna get up on stage and I will have stories from people that don't want to get up and necessarily read theirs, and we will read them to the room. And
I love that. I love this.
But here's the beauty. So I'm gonna use this. I had a really beautiful one the other day. It wasn't what was the wildest thing that had ever happened. It was actually a really touching moment between a bartender and a guest. Specifically, it had been two regulars. And they came in all the time. It's one of those, hey, I know what you're drinking when you come in.
Yeah.
I'm going to hand it to you. I see you walk in the door. Your drinks are ready right by where you normally
Love
sit.
that. Every good bartender.
That's me everywhere I go.
Yeah.
But one of the buddies had passed away. And the other guy came in really distraught and was like, hey, man, is my bartender here?
Yeah.
And specifically asked for this bartender.
Right.
And they're like, yeah, he's out back. Like, we'll go get him. And he came in and he's like, hey, man, I don't have anyone else to talk to. Like, you knew us, you knew him. Like he passed away, and I need to talk to you.
Wow.
Because that's how, I mean, the reality is we are life coaches, we're therapists, and we're friends. I mean, most of my best friends I've met as a bartender. Like, whether I'm working with them or my guests. Several of my guests over the years have evolved into literally some of my best friends.
Yeah,
that's accurate.
I mean, literally, even times like, I'll take a break from drinking. I'll go, I'm not going to drink this whole month and see how I feel. And I'd still go to the bar, get a club soda with cranberry juice, and talk it up with my friends. I mean, really.
There's the social aspect.
Yeah.
You don't necessarily have to get 3 sheets to the wind to enjoy.
And nobody's going to, these days, no one's going to judge you if you're like, I'm not drinking tonight. It's all good. We're all here to, it's more about like, have a seat and, tip well.
I went dry for a while and been an avid regular of the Castle for 25 years.
Outstanding.
And I worked there. I bounced there. I used to bar back, bartend, you name it. I did it there. And I went dry for a while. And they used to have these big liter mugs, right? And they would do like liter night for beers and whatnot. And I would go there with Crystal Light packets in my pocket. And this was when Arthur was bartending there. I was like, hey, give me a liter mug of ice water. And I put my Crystal Light in it, and he would garnish the shit out of it. And it looked like I had this massive cocktail.
Where'd you get that cocktail?
Right. And I would go around the club, and everyone would ask me, where'd you get that? I was like, oh, you got to go to Arthur. You got to go see Arthur.
Ask him about the Crystal Light cocktail.
Yeah, and I gave it some stupid name like that. And he yelled at me. He's like, quit fucking telling people.
That's how easy it is, though.
I could see Arthur doing that. Like the look that Arthur, and we all know that look. Arthur's like, really?
Yeah. Taylor sent me. He's like,
fucking Taylor. Oh well, let's do it. What are we having? I mean, I know I told you I like the bourbon, but I think I'm gonna do the rye, to be honest with you. Yeah, if you don't mind.
I've never been a rye drinker, so I am very interested in trying it.
I think this
by
is
the way, I love that you
yeah.
open that in the mic so you get the crank crank.
Oh, that's my favorite sound in the world.
Best sound.
That is literally
That
one of the
cork
best
pull.
sounds
Nice
in the
pour.
world.
I'm a big. I mainly drink like Woodford. I'm a simple man.
Yeah,
you know,
Woodford's great. Nothing wrong with that.
That smells good already.
Yeah,
I get gifted bottles, so I have tons of liquor at home that I don't really drink at home very much. I rarely drink at the house, so normally I'll have like what I call my front porch Fridays, where I'll make a nice big cocktail and a couple cigars and just sit on the front porch and just watch, because my street is never quiet.
Love that.
I was going to say, when we were talking about the bar business in general and people coming there, the social aspect of it, I think a lot of people's eyes got lifted during COVID.
Right.
And realized how big that was a part of things. We had both. That was when Scooby and I were still both at Rock Brothers. We were there in the trenches in the first couple months of COVID happening, and just trying to figure out how we were going to tread water and make sure the staff was bringing in money. And there was at least one instance that I remember where I think we had been like 2 months in at that point.
Yeah.
And this woman had drove 45 minutes to come to Ybor to pick up. We were making like basically alcoholic slushies. In like Capri Sun. And just pushing them out. And she came and she sat down with us for easily an hour.
Wow.
And she didn't talk with us. She talked at us.
Just had to get shit off her chest.
And Scooby,
word vomit.
Yeah. There was a moment where I kind of looked over at Scooby, and Scooby looked back at me, and it was just this nonverbal, like, we're going to let her say what she needs, get it out of her system. And she, at one point, she was like, I haven't spoken to a person. The only people I've spoken to in 2 months are my husband and my 2 small children under the age of 5.
Yeah.
And so you could just tell that she needed that release.
Yeah.
And, she hung out for a little bit.
I bet you probably saved their marriage. You know what I mean? It's like real shit.
Or someone's life.
Or someone's life.
Right. Yeah,
that's
absolutely.
fucking, I mean, but that's exactly it. That's the bartender thing. I mean, and there's no better place. I mean, of course, we all know about Broadway, we know about Bourbon Street, where it's a show everywhere you go. But in Ybor, it's a community, it's a family,
it's a culture.
It's a culture.
Without being too cheesy about it. There's a lifestyle to being down here and in the community.
Oh no, absolutely. Well, cheers, boys.
Well,
cheers.
Hold on.
Okay, hold on.
Just because I'm gonna quick whiskey tasting, whiskey 101.
Okay. Yes, please.
So, go ahead and pop the top on your water, because I'm gonna have you put a little water in this after this.
All
We're
right.
gonna do a little explanation of this.
Yeah.
So proper whiskey tasting. Take the glass, stick it up to your nose, but inhale through your mouth.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
And the reason you do that is because if you stick your nose in and you breathe in through your nose, all you're going to smell is the ethanol of it. It's going to burn. It's going to kill your palate.
Okay.
So now what I want you to do is just take a little bit of water.
Okay.
Actually, hold the glass up so you can see it.
Yep.
And watch what happens to the whiskey when you add just a little bit of water to it.
Oh, yeah.
See a little oil slick in there?
Right.
So what that is that is a molecular rebonding. It is actually breaking its bonds and becoming something new.
Wow.
So what you smelled in essence before was alcohol. Now I want you to do the same thing and nose it again.
Okay. Yeah.
So what you're now smelling is the spirit, the true essence of the distillate.
No, it's a whole different smell.
And it's going to be a whole different taste when you taste it too.
Okay.
It's not going to give you that bite, but it's going to give you the true essence of what's in the glass.
Interesting.
So
Cheers, boys.
Cheers. Thanks, Scoob.
Thank you. This is the second time we drank on the show.
Yeah, right? It's become a regular.
Could be a tradition.
Oh, my God. Whew, what do you think?
Wow.
Wait for the aftertaste.
Wow, that's fantastic.
Oh, man. It settles in so nicely.
And you generally stay away from rye, right?
That's fantastic. You know what?
Lord.
This would go really well with a Coke Zero.
You know what this is really good in? It's really good in like espresso martinis or like coffee because it has that cinnamon flavor to it. You don't
It's almost
right,
like
that's the aftertaste.
There's almost like a dark cherry
100%.
in that.
So
Man, that's fantastic.
This is what I always tell everyone. I wait till everyone kind of gets it going because there's that flavor and they can't quite put their finger on it.
Right.
For me, it's if you take a ginger snap and a snickerdoodle and you slap them together because you get the
I can see
crispness
that.
of the ginger snap, but all the flavor of the snickerdoodle.
Yeah.
And
The
that's-
cinnamon at the end is just, I mean, I still taste it on my tongue.
I get like a cherry. Remember those? I know they're huge, like in the '90s and whatnot, where you get the horrible grocery store candy and it was the little chocolates with the cherry in it and the weird syrupy. Like I get
Like
kind
at
of that.
CVS.
That kind of almost that kind of a taste to it. Man, that is delicious.
it's so good.
That's very good.
And for those listening along at home, there is no such thing as a bad way to describe spirits.
Yeah.
Anything that comes to your mind,
Right.
if you whatever that is that you taste, that's the way you describe it. If it tastes like dirty Jolly Rancher water, it tastes like dirty Jolly Rancher water.
Right.
Everyone's different.
If it tastes like burnt Ferrari tire smell, you're not wrong. There's no wrong. Everyone has different
I'd be
palates.
okay with that too, though.
Bottle that.
I'm a mechanic. It's fine. I'd love that shit.
Yeah.
But for all the whiskey tastings I've ever done, spirits tastings in general, the amount of people that are so like apprehensive of speaking it because they think they're going to say the wrong thing.
Right,
I'm like,
right.
no, just
tell me
whatever
what you
you
think.
taste is what
Yeah,
you taste,
right.
and that's okay.
Yeah.
I might not taste it. I mean, there's a lot
Right.
of things he doesn't taste it when I taste things.
Right. You know, everybody. Well, first of all, everybody's palate's different, but also we all go through a different day. I mean, if you smoked a cigarette before, it's going to taste different. If you ate steak that day, it's going to taste a little different. You know.
And I will say, like, this is a conversation that he and I have all the time because Scooby and I are currently roommates. So we spend a lot of time together, and he's got a bunch of stuff at the house.
Oh, buddy.
And we're constantly
bet.
trying stuff.
No, if the next pandemic hits, I'm going to Scooby's house.
Well, I'll come back to that because I actually do have a good story about that.
I'm listening.
But I think that I have like a baby palate compared to him. Like I'll pick up stuff and I'll be like, I get like one note or maybe two notes. Maybe if I'm super, super lucky, 3 different things. This guy rips off, I smell this, that, this, and the other.
Listen, when I used to go to Scooby's bars when he was bartending, he goes, "So what do you want?" I go, "I don't know. Yeah, I know you know what I want." He's like, "Yeah, here you go. You know, have you ever had this? I'm gonna make it." I'm like, "If you're making it, I'm drinking it."
I
Go
want
fuck.
something sweet,
Yeah.
maybe.
Which is totally
Tito's
common.
and vodka, please.
Yeah, can I get a Tito's and vodka?
Yeah.
All the time. People don't realize that that's something that
That's
legitimately.
Right.
They're-
Absolutely.
He matured my palate quite a bit. I mean, literally now to this day, if I go to a nice place, I know most of the things that if I do order it, I'm like, what was that thing that Scooby made me? Oh yeah, I want that. You know, like, and if the bartender doesn't know how to make it, I'm like, you should talk to my buddy.
Talking about COVID times and how that was such a
tell me
unique
a
thing.
little bit. I mean, because I know COVID rocked this whole. Well, it rocked the whole world, but like when it comes to hospitality, it rocked them the worst.
Yeah.
It did, and now years later, looking back, looking at what happened across the country,
Right.
Comparatively, we had it
Pretty good,
easy.
yeah.
I spent the most of the first year of COVID here and never left the city.
Yeah.
And then had the opportunity to go out into places like Chicago, where they were like, we were doing everything. We were already back operating at 100%.
No, I mean,
places were still 50% occupancy. People, even certain cities were doing things like double masking and all of that. Regardless of your personal opinion on it, it just impeded business like crazy. I will say the one thing that we had to deal with in hospitality specifically was code enforcement. And this neighborhood was one of two that probably not only got hit very hard, but had in my opinion, heavy-handed, too much.
The city's always been after Ybor. They because Ybor is, and we'll get back to the story in a second, but Ybor it's the party spot. It's the entertainment district as well as the historic district. Yeah. So for years and years, they've been going like, we need to clean that place up, and you know what? We should get rid of all these people that are drinking at 3 a.m. and all that.
Right.
And you can't. I mean, honestly,
no.
The thing of that, and we'll get back to your story, but the thing that was hurting the most when they wanted to do the curfew. Everybody leaves at 2, and that you're not allowed out after midnight. I was like, first of all, the bartenders need a place to go after they close their tills. Yeah. If you make it like, okay, now Rez isn't the spot to hang out after, or First Chance or any of that, I mean, you're gonna have depression. Period. Like, this is, like you said, it's your social life. It's your therapy, like you said.
Yeah, that was my house.
Yeah, exactly. All right, well, back to it. My bad.
Well, and history moves in cycles, and if there's one thing that Tampa knows how to do is party and knock one back if they really want to.
Oh, we're notorious for it.
Yeah, prohibition, all these things.
Right. Yeah. Speaking of the tunnels, we did an episode down in the tunnels.
Yeah.
Man.
How did that go?
Oh, buddy. Well, first of all, once you get past all this, and getting through the pipes and stuff like that, and you start seeing the bricks, you're like, oh my God, this is it.
So it's still all down there.
Well, somebody was a little hungover.
Well, yeah.
Didn't want to go as far as I wanted to take us.
For the listener, if you haven't heard the tunnels episode yet, I do apologize for the burps and the gags.
Oh, I edited out so much. There was so much. I could hear what you ate for dinner.
Oh no, and you could probably hear the sweat coming down. It was a little rough for old Maxie boy, but once you see the bricks though, it's like amazing. And honestly,
I would love the opportunity to go if you guys
do
that again.
I want to go back down there because I want to take him to the original spot where I wanted to go, which is very deep in there.
We didn't go all the way because, first of all, like I said, I was feeling it. Yeah. But B, it's hot as shit.
Yeah, it's warm.
It's really, really hot. So we're thinking January, February. I mean, if you guys want to join us,
I would love to.
Yeah. So stay tuned.
You're going to have a little bit of a hard time for a while.
That's okay.
But just for a little while. Yeah. And then it opens up. But because like the first, I don't know, maybe 150 feet or so, 200 feet.
Right.
It's we have to. I'm 5'8", 5'9", and I have to like hunch over pretty good.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And you have to kind of like wide stance walk because there's water down there.
Sure.
And, and then, but after you go a while, it opens up and you could stand up, and it's
crazy.
No,
literally, you can stand tall.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, oh, this is not designed for sewage. This is where you can walk.
So what exists? The majority of it now is all newer construction from about 2006. Most of the stuff is dated. It was for stormwater runoff, especially when they did a lot of work when they first built Centro Ybor because there's a lot of groundwater issues and everything. Sure. So they diverted it, and they're like, oh man, we got all these big ass tunnels down here, and they just kind of like repurpose a lot of them for stormwater runoff.
Right.
Okay. And so there's a lot of modern construction, big steel pipe, big concrete pipe.
So it's kind of co-opted. It's not two separate.
No.
There's even parts, and there's parts where like you can see the new pipe, and then the old brick is behind it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And there's like natural springs.
Yeah.
We saw like bricks that were eroded, but the mortar was still, or
the mortar was there, but the brick had been worn away from just years and years and years of water flowing over it. Cool. It was really cool.
Oh, I can't wait to bring you guys down there.
Yeah, it's exciting. It's neat. And so where I wanted to take him is the furthest part that I've gotten, and it's under 7th Avenue.
Yeah.
And you come to a big junction, and it's just a big, tall, red brick, junction where all the pipes had led to, and last I went down there was like 15 years ago. So I was trying to remember when we were down here, which way did I turn?
Yeah, I was a little too hungover to be like, let's not go on an adventure, man.
Yeah, I'm all about it.
I want to go on an adventure.
Yeah.
No, we will.
That's because the stories of Ybor and the history.
Right.
And I definitely want to get back to this. But just
we'll get back to code in a second, but
Just to touch on this real quick, it's, Ybor wouldn't be Ybor without that.
Right.
You have this beautiful history, especially having worked at Rock Brothers, which historically has a big tie to Tampa as well.
Right. It was the Greco hardware store.
Yes.
Mayor Greco.
Yep.
Yeah.
First hardware store in Tampa.
Yep.
And we can talk about it, but the beauty of what those tunnels meant to the longevity of the city, what it built, the culture that grew from that, that really built the rest of the foundation of Ybor. Tampa wouldn't be what it is without Ybor.
Yeah, I agree.
And,
Yep.
I mean, Tampa wouldn't be 10 times the city that it is now. Like,
Right.
It would probably be like a Pensacola or Panama City at best.
Yeah.
It would have just been a stop destination. I mean, the ports helped, but Tampa wouldn't have grown into Tampa without the culture and history of Ybor.
Absolutely.
Right. And everyone, you know, most of the newer people just look at it with a lens of a party district.
Right.
But that's only been with the
And even
less than
locals.
30 years.
And that's one
One little
dynamic
thing.
of
Right.
the neighborhood.
Right.
You know,
Because what's Ybor? Its foundation. It's a community. The hospitality industry proves that, but Ybor has always been a community. There's a reason that the Columbia is so there. There's a reason they have an Italian heritage festival, a Cuban heritage festival here. There's a reason the Centro Storiana still does like all their events. That
They got a really cool one coming up too.
Yeah. Oh no. The all these places that you mentioned, they're all individuals. But at the end of the day, like even back in the day, if you were a Cuban, you had to go to the Cuban club. But on New Year's Eve, the Italians, the Cubans, the Germans, they'd bounce from club to club and be like, "Let's all experience it. Happy New Year!" You know, it was always like an open arm, a very diplomatic community.
it definitely, the neighborhood injects a certain amount of culture into the whole city. You
Right.
know?
I agree. But let's get back to COVID. I want to hear this.
Oh yeah, COVID. Well, specifically in terms of the neighborhood, right? So you had when we first reopened, when they allowed people back out, the biggest, I think, challenge that both the city and the neighborhood in terms of hospitality faced was code enforcement. And this is where, kind of getting back to what I was originally saying, I think at one point when they started doing code enforcement, there was something like roughly 40 to 45 code enforcement agents for the entire county. On any given weekend, 30 to 35 of those people were in the two entertainment districts in Ybor City and South Tampa. There were roaming bands of them that would literally just walk through the neighborhood and they would wait to see any kind of violation. They would say something. It was usually like masks, right? Like you have to have your mask
pull your mask up,
100%. Which I don't know if you've ever tried to make a drunk person do anything and to keep doing that one
Put
thing.
your pants back on.
Right. They'll do it for like 5 minutes.
Yeah,
but then you're revisiting that topic like 10 to 12 times.
They're like a goldfish.
Right.
You know,
100%.
so they're like, what?
Right.
Did I mess up? I'm sorry.
And especially as like time went on and you had politics, you know, there was stuff backing it.
It got messy.
Not only will I not raise my mask.
It's my damn right to not,
part.
you know.
Right. And we're out here just trying to pay bills and keep the lights on.
Right. See, that's the craziest part of it.
There was that part. And so you had all these, in our opinion, it was very uneven.
It was bullshit.
Right.
It was just bullshit.
And I mean, you think about all the other neighborhoods in Tampa and all the like little mom and pop bars and things of that nature. And by no means did we want them to do poorly.
Right.
But like there was just, it was the Wild West.
Right.
Like we would had friends that worked at gentlemen's clubs. We had friends that worked at neighborhood bars that it was literally, we're going to do what we want. And you didn't have that freedom. I mean, I think at the time when we were doing it, it was the first infraction, they would give you a warning. The second time, it was the first time they write it down, it was like $150 fee. And then the second time it doubled.
Yeah.
Third time it doubled again. And then they could if you got 3 infractions, they could potentially have you go before a city board to contest if you were allowed to keep your liquor license or not.
That's wild.
It was that. I mean, and this is during the heart of COVID. We're not even sure if we're.
And like you said, infractions could be as simple as like. It's not like, there's too many people here. It's like, hey, I had to tell that guy to pull his mask up 3 times. So you're getting it written down.
And they come by at the perfect time of seeing that down, and they take a picture, and then boom. You know, that kind of thing. And it just felt like I think the entertainment districts in terms of hospitality are always going to have a bullseye on their back.
Right.
You know what I mean? Any kind of place that's considered a nightlife area, it just comes with the territory.
Yeah.
You look at places like Bourbon Street, Nashville, things of these nature.
And I get that they need to regulate because people can get out of control. I mean, everybody's drinking, and then you know when they're like last call and the whole town goes out in the street at 3 a.m, it can be a little messy.
Ratchet hour.
But exactly. But like to just go like, we need to check some boxes here. So let's head to Ybor and do some code enforcement, you know?
And I mean, things circling back around, I don't know if it's everywhere or just Tampa, but people find a way.
Right.
I mean,
people find a way.
Personally, I worked a underground rave for Thanksgiving during COVID.
That's awesome.
I won't say for who, but it was at a defunct CrossFit center.
That's amazing.
Somewhere not too far from here.
Yeah. That's all you got to say. You don't need to give us locations.
And I mean, literally, I think it was maybe 1,000 to 1,500 people.
That's cool.
During COVID.
So you're responsible for most of it.
Bumping house music, you know. And
we hosted a senior prom in the attic at Rock Brothers.
Yeah.
And there was alcohol for the parents because they were like, it was there. Hey, we get to get out.
Oh, like an actual senior prom.
Yeah. It was
legitimate.
It was like a party, like a theme party.
No.
They didn't have a space. Like it got canceled. It was.
Oh wow.
So it was some people that we knew. So we rented them space. And we sold it as a catering package. So we weren't selling cocktails. We sold them a package. We were there to make the drinks for the parents. There was mocktails for the kids, but the kids got to have that. But it was the parents. You could see they're like, look, we want our kids to have fun, but they're not. They don't even care. They're over here at the bar, like having drinks and interacting.
Yeah. Exactly. And God, it's probably good for them too. It'd be like, dude, I want my kid to go upstairs and have some fun, and I'm gonna sit here and talk to some other humans.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like Zoom can only go so far. So I mean, really, Rock Brothers, I know, was like it was a safe haven for a lot of people. You know, especially during COVID.
It was, and it was a cool idea. It was a very ambitious.
It was like a hydra. There was too many heads and not enough hands.
Yeah, I hear you. Now, in my personal perspective, it was also my favorite stop on the Ghost Tour, other than the Cuban Club, because that attic with the monk. Well, hold on. Let's talk about the monk in the attic.
Sure.
All right. So the monk in the attic, first of all,
found in the floorboards of the building.
Right.
That sounds like a really terrible house DJ.
Yes. Monk in the attic.
Yeah.
Gregorian chanting.
Little
Enya. Yeah.
No, it was it was found in the floorboards. Was that when you were they were constructing Rock Brothers?
So, yeah,
when we were doing the renovations.
Tell us a little bit more about it. Yeah.
So
what did they find?
During the original renovations of the building, obviously, we don't know who put that in there when they did.
What was it that you found?
So it was a little statue of a monk.
It was wooden. It was carved out of wood, right?
Oh, wow. Okay.
So those things like that, and a lot of these buildings, you would probably likely to find something like that under the building.
Oh yeah,
it's a common practice back in the day to ward off.
I found a lot of stuff in my yard when I bought my house.
But he was pulled up from under the original floorboards, and there was a hole in the wall up in the attic, and it was good enough space for a candle. But we put the monk up there. And he was kind of like the good luck charm. We didn't want him to leave the building, but he needed to have a place of reverence. And
a little pedestal,
like,
if you will.
It was like, like he could continue watching over the building, but do it from a better place than under the floorboards.
Yeah, I remember like a lot of people, I'd bring them into the attic for the ghost tour, and I go, now take a look around. Let me know if you notice anything odd about this room. And they'd all be like, oh, I like the old bricks. I love the big windows. And I go, now look up there. And there'd be the little monk sitting there, and they go, oh my God, what's that? And then we get into the story.
Sure.
The monk, of course, was there to protect from bad spirits. It was, from what we understand, it was placed there before anybody can even put record on it. It was placed there, and that building has stood the test of time through a lot of things, including a big fire.
Correct.
Yes.
Yeah. So we opened in 2017. We had been open for maybe at that point like 3 or 4 months. It was March of 2017. It was the weekend of the St. Patrick's Day parade here in Ybor City. And I was coming into work to open. I was going to work the opening shift. We were open from like 11 till 6 for the daytime shift. So I was rolling in there probably around like 10:30 at the latest. As I walk up to the corner of the street, there's 3 or 4 fire trucks. It's the tail that they've just finished fighting the fire. And all I see is our building and water and smoke.
Yeah, and you're like,
so
shit.
immediately you're like, shit, what am I walking up to? So as I start to go towards the building, the firefighters grab me, hey, I'm sorry, you can't be here. I was like, no, I work here. What's going on? And they explained that the building directly next to it, what used to be the old bathhouse.
Yeah, the Ybor Resort and Spa, which was the Jorge Treyes Clinic.
Correct, yeah, it had several different lights, right? And over the course of that week, it had actually been set on fire more than once.
Yes.
By the same person.
And that dude was wild too.
So,
that was a rap sheet on that. Jesus.
Yeah, buddy. I remember that.
Ybor has a history of having some interesting things happen with buildings and
the whole
fire.
reason why we're doing
discussed
this.
this.
Arson and all that good stuff. But we genuinely don't think this was arson for the intent of fraud or anything like that. This gentleman that did it, I guess he was off his meds. And if you guys have seen his rap sheet,
I was going to say, I remember at the time that he was compelled by God to do it.
Right.
Yeah,
at least
because
one at a time.
well, okay, so put it out there. The Ybor Resort and Spa was a homosexual resort and spa. I always appreciate a good dirty joke. On the front door, it said, "Please enter in the rear." I think that's fantastic. And I guess he was like, "I'm gonna burn this place to the ground," because he said he had been molested there.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah.
He said he'd been drugged and molested.
Right.
Yeah. So
I
to
never
anyone,
heard that aspect.
Yeah.
Well, that week, this guy was kind of hanging around the block, and he would yell at anyone who would listen to him.
Yeah.
that this had
As a
happened
ghost tour
to
guide,
him,
I
and
ran into him.
I'm sure you did.
I was like, "Hey, buddy, I'm trying to do a job here. Come on."
So I guess he lit a couple fires more than once and didn't do any major damage, but the last one, it did the trick, and it literally burnt it to the ground. Personally, in terms of things that are like spooky, I'm always like 1 foot in, 1 foot out. I'm open to listen, but approaching it from a cynic's
as anybody should.
So I'm there. It's 10:30 in the morning. Walking into the building, and the fire department's like, "This is what happened. This is what's going on." And well, the biggest thing was that there was no damage to our building at all.
Zero.
If you look,
No smoke,
obviously,
no water, nothing.
Amazing.
the bathhouse burnt to the ground.
Right.
The building on the opposite side of it looked like it had a stroke.
Right.
Like it was completely melted. They had a renovation that went on for a year after
Right.
the fact. Our building had no water damage, no fire damage, no smoke damage.
It was right.
Amazing.
And I mean, you're talking maybe 4 to 5 inches of
Yeah,
space.
no,
between
I mean,
the
they were.
two buildings.
You couldn't walk between them.
No,
It was,
it was
yeah.
literally 4 to 5
You could
inches.
barely put your hand in there.
Right. And that's the kind of thing where it's like, is there some sort form of protection?
Now, do you know what year the Rock Brothers building was built?
Oh, that's a
Do we
good
know what year
question.
that was?
Early 1900s.
It was definitely early 1900s. It was the King Greco hardware store.
Yes.
I think it was. It's actually on the wall
building, right?
of the building. And
I remember this is an original floorboard. It was like a plaque on the wall. So, God, I want to say
It was-
1920 something.
I think it was like 1913.
Might be, yeah.
Okay, because you got to remember in 1921,
Right.
a horrible hurricane ripped through here
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
destroyed.
Oh, there's a picture of it.
That's the
picture of
100-year back.
There's
Yeah.
actually a picture of
the Rock Brothers Brewing, yeah.
Because so originally it was predates the hardware store was a fire station.
Oh, okay.
It was part of a fire station, and that's where there's big bay doors.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then it went
That
from a
makes
fire
sense.
station to the King Greco hardware. So it was the first hardware store in the area.
Right, yeah. I mean, that makes sense because it definitely was around for that hurricane. I saw a picture and I shared it. And I was like, hey, we survived the hurricane, but look at this old picture of one of my favorite venues. It had a hurricane in 1921.
Like my house survived it. None of the other houses on my
Amazing.
street, they're all built in 1925, 1926, which is pretty par for the course.
Yeah.
Mine 1920.
Yeah.
My house totally survived the
hurricane.
hurricane.
Yeah. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
I don't know if it was they just built them different or what.
Well, I tell you what, man. Like when you say you found this monk, like when I bought my house in 2015, it needed a lot of work. I bought it for super cheap. But my wife and I,
2015,
my wife and I were like digging up the backyard, trying to like till the land because we were trying to grow stuff, and every corner of the yard we dug up, we found
something.
all sorts of trinkets and stuff, and everything went right back into those spots.
You don't want to mess like a Salem's Lot. Kind of
I don't believe in it, but I don't mess with it.
Yeah,
exactly.
If it's not broken, don't fix it.
Right. Don't poke the bear. You never know why that was there. And I mean, everybody's seen a horror film where they're like, why would you move that? Because they didn't realize at the time.
Right.
You know.
Yeah, man, we found everything from like horseshoes to skulls and stuff. I'm like, all right, this is all
Wait a
just
minute,
going
skulls?
Oh yeah, like
Did you find a body?
like critters,
Oh, okay.
like chicken skulls and all sorts of stuff. So
That's Salem's Lot.
Some Santeria.
yeah, in fact, when I first bought my house, to get a little bit of a tangent, I rented it to a friend of mine at the time. We don't speak now because she's a horrible person to rent to.
Wow.
But she was staying in the house for a few months and went out to the drum circle at Treasure Island.
Yeah.
Yeah, buddy.
And met up with some old dude that was playing a bongo drum or something, and they started chit-chatting about Ybor and all that, and she goes, oh, I just moved to Ybor, I'm renting this house, yada yada yada. He goes, man, I haven't been out there since like the 80s. Last time I was out there, I was at this house in North Ybor, and it had a basement, and I used to I used to play the drums while they did their Santeria like rituals down there.
I'm telling you.
And they started talking about where it was. I'm not going to say my street, but he was talking about my house. That's
I guarantee you.
The same family owned my home from when it was built in 1920 until they sold it in 2012.
Right.
Wow.
So, yeah, it was the same family owned it the whole time.
Decades of Santeria there.
Oh, yeah.
And honestly,
the shit that I found, absolutely.
So, on the subject of this building that we're in right now, the Cuban Club, if anybody that knows the Cuban culture knows that they love their rum, they love their music, but they also have a little bit of a trick up their sleeve when it comes to anything that happens to do with like the stars and animal sacrifice. I came in here one time, literally caught people doing Santeria. I don't know how they got in the building. They were on the stage
recently.
This was probably a couple years ago.
Okay.
But I come in here and I go, "What are you guys doing in here?" They ran as quick as they could, but they had candles burning, they had coins, and they had a dead frog in the middle of the whole thing. I was like, "Oh my God, they're doing Santeria in my building."
Yeah.
What can I say?
Well, and then I imagine most of the communal spaces like the Cuban Club, the Italian Club, they also at one point had some organized crime involvement.
Oh God,
right?
Oh, of course.
Buddy.
Of course.
So in general, you get the murder vibe.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, there's a reason why this place is. I would call it the best kept secret in mafia history.
Yeah.
Honestly, people talk because on my tour I talk about there was a crash of the cigar industry in the 30s. Like why? Because of Prohibition. I'm like, Prohibition helped this place.
Yeah,
100%.
I mean, speaking of COVID not shutting down this place, Prohibition didn't shut down this place at all.
Yeah, it made it thrive.
It thrived,
Right.
exactly.
It thrived, yeah.
That's what you come back to your situation of like Ybor and Tampa in general, and what you said, everybody in Tampa has something to do with what you have in your glass. This place was amazing, and I can get into the whole detail of Mr. Ybor and his trade deal, the reason why it was lawless by law, but at the same time, man, Ybor's always had a connection to the drink.
Well, and if you even just look at the state, if you look at the coastline,
Right.
For people who want to do shady stuff, it's kind of a perfect environment. You can get in your boat, you find a little inlet.
You're right there by Latin America.
Yep. Go fishing for square grouper.
Yeah, exactly. Square grouper. I love that.
Apparently that's all migrated to England now. So
Yeah, what can you do? But I mean, Florida, if you go back, I want to say like 150 years. If anybody who was living in Florida, it was because they were running from something.
Right.
Or they were like...
running something.
Running something,
Running
exactly.
something,
That's a good way to put it, yeah. Anyway, let's see what else we got to talk about.
We'll actually go back to Rock Brothers real quick. Cause we touched on the monk and kind of the supernatural.
Oh, you have a ghost story, don't you?
I have a few from there, but one particular that really kind of set it off. And I vaguely touched this with you before, but never talked about
you
it.
mentioned it, and I said save it for the podcast.
So we used to have people come in the building all the time, that, like you do, right? You get these mediums that want to come in and they want to check out the buildings.
Professional investigators.
Like Wade Boggs.
Yeah. Wade Boggs is a medium, but we'll get on that subject again later. But anyway,
You know, there was always told that there was 2 to 3 spirits in Rock Brothers, 2 to 3 entities.
Right.
It was vague if one was kind of just an echo of something, or if they were there. Like some of them, I would say 90% of them picked up on 3.
Yeah.
But the other ones would pick up, they couldn't really touch it to
Yeah,
say. They was there, but they couldn't really tell it was there, so they kind of just called it an echo.
Yeah.
I had come in early one afternoon because we had some contractors come in. They were fixing some lighting and doing some stuff up in the attic. And I wasn't really on for the day, but I had to let them in the building and walk them through and show them where everything needed to be. So I brought my daughter with me. It was actually my day off. So we went upstairs, and I'm showing the contractor where the lights need to go and how they need to face and where we need the tracks run and how to get access to some of the other stuff. And my daughter's like, Dad, and she couldn't have been more than four at the time.
4 tops.
And she's like, Dad, who's the lady over there in the corner? She's pointing to the stage. Now, it's dark up there,
right.
And the stage had curtains. And she was like, no, over there. I was like, oh, baby, those are curtains. And she goes, no, over there in the corner. And she's like, there's a lady over there. And she's waving at me.
No shit.
I'm talking hair on my arms, stood up. And I've been in the Cuban Club numerous times, done the ghost tours with Max, and they're fantastic. I've caught stuff on film.
Yeah, you have great pictures in the Cuban Club.
I have seen some stuff in other buildings I have been in. There's a reason I've turned down jobs in some of these buildings because I know the stories and I just don't want to deal with it.
Right.
I'm talking hair, arms, neck, just full chill, like okay, well, all right, well, you see her, just wave at her, it's fine. And I'm boogieing, like trying to get this wrapped up so I can get her and me out of that building.
Right.
It wasn't malevolent, there was no maliciousness to it.
No.
Right. But it was still she had made the acknowledgement and I was like, I never made acknowledgments in that building, and I can say this because it's just easier to not deal with it if you don't acknowledge it. Because we had security cameras. Every now and then you get something clipped on the security camera.
And I've gotten some great photos up there.
But
But
for me, I would turn all the power off upstairs. I mean, I pushed the main power switch.
Yeah.
Go downstairs, just be getting ready to walk out the door, and the music would come back on upstairs. Or one of the lights would, and I'd catch it on the camera on the way out the door. I got to go all the way back up there. And I was like, oh, maybe I tripped it or I didn't push it all the way. I mean, look, it's one of those flip switches. You know.
Yeah, you can't.
You know when it's off.
Miss it.
Right.
Yeah, and then we had those stairs that we had added into the building that were aluminum.
Those are great, by the way. Yeah.
But there's the building settling at night because of the temperature changes. There's a difference between a building settling and the creaks and actually hearing like
footsteps. Yes.
Yeah.
And I'm just whatever. But that was the most active I've ever seen. But for my daughter to be like, no. And that's why I haven't brought her on like some of the tours. Like I know you've invited, but she seems to perceive things of that realm. And there's been other instances, but that one really touched, and I was like,
well, I'll tell you. Okay, so as somebody who has been doing this a long time, we have a lot of stops on our tours, and I could do a 5-hour ghost tour in Ybor City, but there are places that you can feel it a little heavier. Rock Brothers was one of them for sure. The Cuban Club, of course, is legendary. Where Dysfunctional Grace is right now, the old James Joyce, definitely haunted. Extremely haunted. I have seen a couple of things up there that I'm like, that's haunted.
Cigar City Cider
is haunted.
Speakeasy.
Speakeasy's got a lot of... Dude, the Speakeasy down in the basement. I don't know if you've ever seen the video that I have. It's on the Ybor City Ghost Tour, Ybor City Ghost Tour Instagram. Our main pinned post is Brandon, who now works at Gaspar's Grotto, which I don't have the heart to tell him is also haunted. But
I mean, he left after watching the video, and he said he wouldn't come back.
He's like, keep my last check. They're like, you have to close the bar. He's like, forget it, I'm out of here. I mean, literally, there's so much energy here. It's incredible.
The city, and specifically this neighborhood as a whole, it's not any one particular building. There's lots of spots.
I mean, it's Ybor Muta, right?
Yeah, Ybor Muta. Well, you got to think of it like this. Look, back in the day, where we are right now was swamp. I mean, water up to your waist. It's a great place to hide a body. And, with yellow fever pandemics, people would there's actually a rule. If you buy a house in Ybor City, that if you find a body in your backyard, you're legally responsible to get rid of it.
No kidding.
Yep.
That's still on the books.
Still on the books. Because people would literally drop dead and they'd be like, well, we can't leave this body sitting here and we don't have money for the Oaklawn Cemetery. Bury him in the backyard with Snuffles the dog. You know, like, it was not unusual to have people buried in your backyard.
Well, I mean, at that point, you just turn it into a cemetery.
Not a bad idea. Yeah, right. Now we're talking. Now we're cutting some red tape.
Work smarter, not harder.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Well, and I've never really been like a big believer, like because for me, it's like, man, if ghosts are real, then that means that opens up the door for a whole lot of other things that are supposed to exist as well. I'm mass hysteria, everything can be kind of talked off, and I've even had some experiences where I'm like, okay, like I used to live in a house with a bunch of roommates off of Nebraska by the Checkers. Really big. Really big. Really
You're
big.
laughing because you know exactly.
It's what we affectionately refer to as crack checkers.
Yes, exactly.
And I used to ride my bike into Ybor, and I would stop at that Checkers at the end of the night.
First of all, best burger you can get around for a while. Like that Checkers is way better.
Entertainment alone, while you're waiting for that burger.
Absolutely pissed drunk on my bicycle and get 3 spicy chicken sandwiches.
There you go.
Completely regret it in the morning.
Oh, of course.
But I rented one of the rooms downstairs, and I had taken a nap that day because I worked a lot. Took a nap. We're going out and get ready for Castle. So I get up, take my shower, and I start getting dressed, and I'm putting on my shoes in the living room, and I hear my roommates walking upstairs. A big 2-story house. I hear them walking around. I'm like, okay, good. They're awake. We're getting ready. We're all going to ride out together, kind of thing. And while I'm getting dressed and listening to this footsteps, all my roommates apparently went out to dinner, and they all came in the front door at that moment. And I kind of looked and went,
yeah.
Put it all together.
You have anyone upstairs waiting for you? Like, no, why? And I told them, they're like, oh, that's just so-and-so. Like, they've named this fucking ghost and everything. It's well known.
Well, and you guys named the monk, right? What did you guys name the monk? It was something. I don't remember what it was. But I'll tell you something. Look, Fred. Yeah. Which is definitely not his name. But at the same time, you make affectionate names, the nickname, if you will. But I'll tell you, when I first started doing the ghost tour, I was like, I don't know if ghosts are real. Whatever. Let's have some fun talking about mafia and murder and crying and all that.
It's entertaining. I mean,
100%.
But now,
100%.
I believe it. I have seen them. I have seen several ghosts in this building. I've seen 2 in this room. And I mean, I know that sounds crazy, but like if you see a UFO and you go, oh my God, that's not an airplane, that's not a hot air balloon or something, that's a UFO, you're going to go, aliens are real, man. Yeah. Period. And I've seen them. So I look, I know everybody at this table, me and Scooby, I think, are the only believers really at this table. But
too many interactions.
Too many interactions to go, this is not real.
I've had a shit ton of interactions. Like I used to go to Orlando. We had a house that we called Spooky House. And it was this beautiful large house that all my degenerate car friends rented. And it was in a beautiful neighborhood, and they couldn't sell it because the family was murdered in this house. You know, it was one of those.
Yeah.
And so it was
probably had a great price.
I've heard about this house before from other people.
Really?
Yeah. No, this is not the first.
Man, I have had insane experiences there that I absolutely cannot explain away.
Right.
You know, and everyone there were like, oh yeah, we saw so and so, and I never saw anything, but just the shit that I experienced there, and like, it's still tough for me to believe because I just feel like I've experienced a lot of things that I just can't explain yet.
Right.
Well, you know, until I see an apparition,
and I've seen them,
it's going to be tough.
And to your point, whether you believe or you don't believe, for some people, it's entertainment.
Yeah, absolutely. And I
go.
love telling the stories because it's, you know, so many people do believe in, like, it's a great story.
Well, everybody wants to hear the story.
Yeah, man, I love it.
Everybody wants to go see a scary movie and get scared. You don't go to the scary movie because you're like, well, I really want to see the special effects. You know, it's about the entertainment factor, like you said.
Absolutely. As a fan of Max and his tours watching him over the course of a year, you know, he has business year round.
Yeah.
But man, look out in October.
Yeah,
buddy. I feel like you have every night you have something booked, if not several things.
Twice.
Yeah.
We have 3-4
booked out
tours
to
a night.
capacity. October specifically.
Well, there's a reason for it.
Of course.
A, not only having the access to this building, but B, like I try to make it a movie. You know, you're in I'm like, you're in a scary movie.
It's extremely entertaining.
Yeah. Well, thanks, man. And all of you have been on it. You know,
they're
so
fantastic.
And
check it out.
I'm trying to recruit Kev to do a couple tours, and maybe Taylor too.
I wouldn't mind doing that at all.
I enjoy poking the bear when I go there, but it also gets Max to really get into some of it too. Because working for a brand and helping other brands out, like prior to coming back to doing brand work, it was a cool way to get people together and do stuff and be like, hey, like, no, like, this is what you should do.
Oh, yeah.
We do a little bar crawl ghost tour. We get to see some cool stuff.
Yeah. So, I mean, honestly, like you said, October, we're super busy. You might not even be able to record some of these podcasts. We're going to have to do a bunch of them in September. But at the same time, like, I mean, I do it year round. Like you said, even in the summer, I'm out here sweating and I'm going like, the ghosts don't take the summer off.
Look, I hired you to do the one.
Right. Yeah.
A couple months ago.
Oh, man.
We started launching the brand.
It's always a great time, man. And I appreciate everybody's support, you know, when we do this kind of thing. But let's talk a little bit about with you guys. So you're doing the true story thing, which, oh my God. First of all, like I said, I see it everywhere. And if anybody here has not tried it, I mean, you can go to almost every bar in Ybor or downtown.
Yeah, pretty much any bar in Ybor, a couple downtown. All ABC liquors have us right now.
I saw it at Duff's, the chicken wing place.
I can't get over how good this is.
It's amazing.
Yeah, I can't get over it. There are so many notes, and the more that I've gotten into it now, there's so much going on in it.
It's an easy sip, man.
Yeah.
It's really good.
Once you get liquid to the lips, it sells it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And it's versatile. You can sip it neat like we're doing it. It's great in a cocktail.
Oh yeah.
And
I would love to have this in a martini.
Oh,
like,
100%.
That'd be really espresso martini with the true story would be like a flavor explosion.
In a super broad sense, when you're talking about whiskey, bourbon tends to be a little bit on the sweeter side,
right?
Whereas rye tends to be a little, what they say, hotter, a little spicy, not
there's
necessarily
a kick.
spicy.
That's why I've
there's
never really been a rye person.
Sure.
You know, I like bourbons. I do like some scotches.
In general, there's that true story rye has little to no heat.
Yeah. I just can't get over the flavors that are in this.
Too, so.
Is it really?
Oh yeah.
Oh wow. Strong
I can't
stuff.
get over the
Kick
flavors
in the
of this.
glass.
This is absolutely outstanding.
No wonder we're having so much fun.
So, but I would like to go back to Ghosts real quick.
Sure. Yeah.
before we
Please.
move on.
Please. Yeah.
When you guys, if you listen to the episode when it comes out, when we go down in the tunnels.
Oh yeah.
So, unfortunately, I didn't pick it up on video for whatever reason. You know, I had my camera down, and the camera stopped right when this happened. But at one point, Max is behind me, and he says he hears something. I got it all on audio.
I swear to God, I heard a person behiund me.
Yeah.
I heard you know, if you're alone somewhere and you feel somebody enter the room, you don't have to look at them. You can just kind of be like, oh, someone's here.
You can feel it. Yeah.
And I felt them come behind me, and you can hear kind of footsteps come behind me a little bit, and I'm like, and I turn around and go, did you hear that? And he goes, Yeah, I kind of did.
I said, I didn't understand what you said.
Yeah.
And I said, what'd you say? And then you're like, I think I hear someone behind me.
Yeah.
But
in the tunnels, first of all, I was like, it's either an alligator or a murderer.
Yeah.
So I got a little concerned. Yeah.
At this point, we're deep.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We were in there.
We're probably, that would have been at probably about 6th Avenue at that point.
Yeah.
And we're deep in there. And what's weird is I didn't bring this setup. I brought
we had lavalier mics.
Yeah, my little lavalier collar mics. And only his started fucking up.
Yeah.
It was a really weird, garbled, and it followed him almost all the way until we got out.
Oh, on that note, I'm
actually getting good thinking about it because it was really.
I've had
really
spirits
weird.
follow me home.
So you're gonna enjoy listening to this audio then, because I just gave you guys a look a couple minutes ago.
Yeah.
Staring.
Did you hear it too?
I heard you heard that.
A little girl? Did you hear the little girl or no?
Okay.
Did you guys not hear that?
What did you hear?
Yeah. It sounded like a light echoing voice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because
I heard like a female voice earlier.
It was kind of sing-song.
Yeah. Okay.
But
I heard that too. I thought it was someone's phone. To be honest with you, I was like, "What is that?"
No, that was. In,
okay.
Yeah,
I can't wait to listen to this.
That was in the headset. That's why I was like, "Is no one else hearing this?"
Where you're at right now, man.
And you are channel 1, so because I can listen to each one of these channels individually too. So I'm excited to go through that.
If you go back probably 10-15 minutes from where we're at.
Yeah. So we're at 105.
Should be somewhere in that room.
No, I heard it too. I thought it was someone's phone. I was like, someone's phone's going
and
on.
And that's the point in the interview where the table started to float.
Right. No, okay, listen, like I told you, if I've ever been in a haunted building, it's the one you're in right now.
Yeah.
I have seen so many things, and you can hear. A couple of weeks ago, I was down in the theater, and I swear to you, somebody had mentioned that their grandpa had come to the Cuban Club, right? So I'm sitting there in the theater, and over my shoulder, I feel something over my shoulder, and I hear something whisper, "Abuelo, ven conmigo." And I'm like, I turn, and as clear as I just said it into that microphone, I heard it into my ear. And I turn around, and there's nothing there, and I'm getting chills now thinking about it. You can hear Spanish all around you if you're alone in here, and I've been alone in here many times.
What it was.
No, I'm excited. I'll listen to this. And the only thing, like when went on your tour recently, when with Laura, I was taking rapid fire pictures of the little staircase that goes up backstage. There's like a little dark door up there, and it's kind of dark. And I was just like, it's a neat dark spot, and I'm rapid firing pictures off while you're giving your spiel of the actor that came in and had the bad night and and when your story came to its crescendo, these two little like dots showed up at the door, almost like eyes, and like I don't do like I understand orbs, and it's just like it's dust, that kind of shit.
And I'll tell people, they'll send me. I get a million photos. I'm like, that's a photo of a bug, man.
I'll bet. And but this was really strange because it was just like it was literally like head height, like two little white dots for like 2 frames of pictures, and then completely gone again. And it was at his crescendo.
But that's been like I've probably been on 5 or 6 of the tours over the last couple of years. And I have seen other people's photos, and I've seen some really, really good ones.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, I'm like, you do realize that none of you have met before, right? Like this is literally just what they caught. And I took photos in here that same night, downstairs, just on the floor below us. And in an area where I know that people have gotten photos before, because I've seen it from not one, but like 3 or 4 different people, and there are images. And I got a couple. And
I've seen them.
That's so cool.
I saw your photos.
I did the rapid fire, and then I zoomed in and clear as day.
I mean, I'm a type of person that like, if you look for something hard enough, you'll find it.
Right? Yeah.
I get. I think you and I are on the same page here. But at the same time, like, wow, how
I do often tell people, they're like, look at this amazing photo. I'm like, well, I'm being honest with you. That's a photo of your lens flare. I'm very bluntly honest.
Right. Yeah.
But if somebody gives me a photo that's real, I go, let me look more into it. And I don't right away go, I think you got something. I go, let me look more into it. And then I go, oh crap, you do have something. I mean, like, the fact that we can hear things, we can see things, that's all well and good. But, back in the day, we got opposable thumbs and the animals got the real senses. I mean, that's the reason why cats, dogs, animals can like really sense things around you.
Energy and
that's why I got that new horror movie coming out. Good boy.
Yeah. Oh boy. Yeah. Oh, I can't wait for spooky season.
I imagine you ran into some stuff at the castle. I mean, that building.
Yeah, the castle is extremely haunted, man.
Absolutely tons. But it's one of those things where I've always just like, kind of explain it away. Yeah. Like
also you're in a work environment. You don't want your environment.
I've heard a million stories.
Right.
And so when you get pretty, you get hammered, you're like, you look for it.
Right.
Sure. The harder you look, the more you'll find,
I wanted to touch on the castle again, just because earlier how we talked about the cool things that happen in nightlife and in the industry in the city are short. You know, it's like catching lightning in a bottle. Castle is one of those rare exceptions.
It's been around.
1992 or 93? 92. So it has the distinction of being the longest running consecutively running nightclub in the city.
For sure, by a long shot. It's maybe one of the top 10 in the country.
Well, just in terms of locally longevity. The only one that would come close to that would be Hyde Park Cafe that was in South Tampa that opened in 95. Right. But I believe Castle has the distinction of being number one. So I've been running consecutively.
Well, think about by Alan Kahana the entire time.
Yes, isn't that crazy? Man, we got to get him on here.
I know, I'm working on it.
The Castle itself, I mean, think about, Studio 54 was open for 10 years or something? It's legendary. The Rainbow Room, it's been open for a long time, probably maybe longer than the Castle, but I would definitely say if we should put together a list to see what's the longest running actual nightclub in America. I bet it's in the top 10.
There could be, there's definitely a few that would be contenders, but I think it definitely wins within the city.
And it's not in New York City, it's not in Chicago, it's not in these big old, it's right here in our home.
Tampa. And not only that, but it's world renowned.
Oh yeah.
I mean, SNL's done it.
The Goth Talk,
I was in Leipzig, Germany for a music festival.
Dude, across the ocean.
And I had a castle patch. It was admittedly a gothic music festival, but I'm on a public transit on a train, and with a castle patch, and some German guy goes, "Oh, their castle, Tampa, Florida, and my drink." I mean, people know.
I've had people come on the tour, and when we get to the castle, like, "Oh, the castle, yeah," and they're like, "Oh, I'm from wherever," and they're like, "I heard about this place."
Yeah.
To this day, it's one of those places when I meet someone who's new to town. It's everybody has to. I don't care what you're into, what socioeconomic level.
It really
everyone who lives here should have that as a bucket list at least one time. Go and see it.
If you have not been to the castle, you can't qualify as a Tampian or Tampano or whatever they call it. You are not. You're not. Yeah, Tampano. You're not in Tampa's inner circle unless you've been to the castle. You don't have to get in the whipping station. You don't have to.
Nope.
But you can go there, have a Corona, and just you know.
Everyone should go see it. And I will say, from someone who's an outsider looking in, there is definitely a quote unquote uniform or a vibe. Like you go there.
I mean, what you're wearing right now would be fine. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know?
Black t-shirt, black jeans.
Yeah, you're good.
100%.
Yeah. What I'm wearing, probably I'd be good.
You should see how.
80s pool parties.
I mean, but I'm a lifelonger, so the way I dress when I go there is usually like Guadalajara.
Yep.
I'm wearing like nice pants, nice shoes, a full brim hat. You know.
My point is, all are welcome there.
100%.
Regardless of what you look like,
as long as you have a good attitude.
The thing that I've noticed about the castle, and I haven't been in a little while, is that I've noticed it's gotten so big that even like, nothing against other types of people, but like people that shouldn't be there are there. They're there to like point and laugh.
That's not okay.
That's not okay.
That's not what it's about.
No. And it's always been like that. We've had for, like in the 25 years I've been going there have always been the people from 7th that wander over. And it used to be that it wasn't as busy of a nightclub.
Right.
And so you would have all these people that would wander over from 7th to make fun of the weirdos. But they got dealt with very quickly. Especially if I was there.
Or the opposite of that, because I feel like at least in very, very recently, I've heard some stories of the opposite of that. Of the people who do feel comfortable there, pointing at the people who don't look like
you're right.
Well,
by the way, you're outnumbered.
And I will say there is an entirely new blood there. There's an entirely new crowd, a whole new...
It's a changing of the guard.
A whole new group has aged in. When I first started going there, we had what we called, obviously, like the elder goths. Like the older folks have been out in the scene forever. And here I was in my early 20s showing up. I'm like, oh my God, this is a fantastic place. Look at these people. They know what they're doing. They've been here forever. And now I realize I'm like, oh fuck, that's me. That's me, because these kids are kids, but they very much have that mindset now of like calling it out publicly and like you don't belong and
don't cite the old words. I was there when they were written.
I was there when it was written.
That's exactly right.
Like I said earlier, I went to high school over in the Pinellas side of things. So I didn't really come over to Tampa when I was a teenager. I went into the military for a brief period of time right out of high school. When I got out, I moved back to the Bay Area, and that's when I got into hospitality and mostly on like the South Tampa side of things.
Yeah.
Like when I first started bartending.
Well, you lived in Soho, right?
I did, yeah. And I worked in nightclubs there. And even back then, coming from like Dunedin and, it's the suburbs, I still dressed like I lived in the suburbs. What I call suburban camouflage. A polo shirt and like khaki cargo shorts.
Nothing wrong with that.
Right. But it was so funny coming to Ybor for the first time.
Yeah.
Walking into places like the Bricks.
Yeah.
And where everyone looked how I look now.
Exactly.
And you would literally, I had to wait like 20, 30 minutes to even get someone to say hello to me.
Oh, boy.
You know what I mean?
There's a lot of assumptions made.
Right.
You know,
absolutely.
And as you learn now, because of the culture of this area, I hate using the word cliquey.
Yeah.
But it can be.
It can be cliquey.
It can be cliquey, but also profiling too, right?
Yes, that's the word.
Because there was a reason why.
Because your locals look at you, you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
This dickhead.
A, you looked a little different than most people, but B, you weren't a local.
This guy's lost.
This guy, somebody brought the lawyer.
Unfortunately, people who dress like me would come in and statistically do stupider shit.
Exactly, yeah. So even on the opposite side of it, you can't look at people and go, oh, that guy's a douchebag.
Absolutely.
Because you're one of the sweetest people I know.
Right. I have the heart of a misfit.
Yeah,
but at the time, I looked like a preppy.
Well, it's funny because I wonder, I'm 46 and I dress like, now when I go out, I dress nice.
Sure.
Like I said, I wear like my nice full brim straw hat.
Right, yeah.
I wear nice button up shirts and nice shoes on, and I go to Castle and I know these new bloods look at me like,
who's this guy?
Who is this ticket? And they had no idea that for the first 3 years of the Castle started the Memorial Day beach party. That the first 3 years I won the bikini contest.
Outstanding.
In a thong. I was on the cover of TBT.
Nice.
Doing a big like pose up on the stage in a thong, Castle boots, the whole deal. And to the point where at the 4th year they had real prizes, and Robert, the manager, was like, look, I can't have you in this contest. So I became the MC of it.
There you go.
The senator and I used to do duets.
Shout out to the senator.
We would do the duets all the time. He was at my home several times. He was at my home for my 30th birthday party. We would have we had parties all the time.
What does he wear to a 30th birthday?
Absolutely fucking nothing. If he is in your
nothing.
No, if he is at your home, it is nothing.
Oh boy,
you have a stark, just naked ass old man in your house.
He wore the sock because he had to.
God bless America.
I love that man. I still talk to him. I still text him.
I thought he had passed.
No, a lot. That's a common misconception. He fought cancer during COVID. He is now officially cancer free.
Outstanding.
But he's old, and he was like, he told me, he's like, man, he's like, I was in a Zoom meeting recently.
Yeah.
And he's like, the face I saw looking back at me was not the face that I remember going out, and I don't want people to remember me.
Well,
he wants them to remember him how he was.
On that note, in your story too, the kids, the new generation, they need to also respect their elders who built this thing.
Yeah, but I can understand. I look like just an old asshole.
So they're,
they're
going to think you're some guy.
So I got to tell you this kind of harkens back to Rock Brothers.
Yeah.
Because we had the big bay windows right there.
Yes, I love those.
My favorite nights were Friday and Saturday nights working the bar, watching everyone towards the castle.
Yeah.
It was literally a pageant show.
Yes.
Walking down
different costumes.
Yeah.
And I mean, it would be everything from like lingerie and body paint to full on like steampunk.
Yeah.
Vampires, and then
dude, people would dress in like Austin Powers and walk to
any costume, Halloween, shitty Halloween costumes too. But
the average Friday, Saturday
Right,
night.
It didn't have to be Halloween. You dressed up because you bought that for the castle.
I loved opening the doors.
Oh yeah.
And people were like, "What's going on?" I'm like, "Oh, they're just heading to the castle." And they're like, "Honestly, it's a great place. You guys should go see it."
Right.
I don't think you're skeptical of what it is.
Yeah.
But be open-minded. Just be a good person and be accepting of
and
what they're
have
about.
an absolute blast.
And you will literally have one of the best times of your entire life.
Yeah.
Castle had a lot of those interesting characters. A lot of people had interesting looks.
Yeah.
But the neighborhood as a whole had that.
Right.
Castle's definitely a focal point.
Yes.
But Ybor in general, you have, I feel like there's this unwritten just acceptance of, wear whatever you want,
Right.
and you know, hopefully you don't break any laws.
Well, it's funny. You could watch the people going on 7th. You knew exactly what bars are going.
Right.
To.
You knew
who
almost,
was going to Res.
Sure. Yeah.
You knew who was going to Castle after they got their pizza. You knew who was going to like at the time like Amp or any of these places, Czar and shit like that. Like you could tell. Like you could pick out. You're like, oh, this is my Czar outfit for the night.
Right.
This is my Castle outfit for the night.
The late 90s, early 2000s, you know.
That was my shit.
But even prior to like opening the streets back up, before like when you could still walk up and down, like, I remember being down here, and God love this because it's gonna be a throwback forever. But around the time that Blade came out, and but you still had the clans of vampires that would walk up and down 7th Avenue.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And they were all very different in styles. You had your Gothics, and then just different Victorian, and it was these time period-esque. But even during the dusk hours, they had their umbrellas, and they walked together in their clans, cliques, whatever you want to call them, but they were their clans. And you know that they were just waiting to get into the castle. Like they would go and do dinner somewhere.
Right.
They would go and have drinks somewhere where they felt comfortable.
Oh, yeah.
Or they didn't really care because they had a group of them, so it didn't matter.
Right.
But then they were going to castle. But I mean, this is
not just Castle.
90s.
Yeah, it was everything.
No, it was everything. But I mean, and there were other bars that are honestly no longer here. But that was Friday, Saturday night.
Right.
You're dressed like that. We know.
Yeah, we know where you're going.
And,
Yeah.
And even now, not just on the weekends, I feel like if you work or live in the neighborhood, a fun game that we like to play is it a holiday or is it Ybor?
Yeah, exactly.
Because it does, you know, it could be a Tuesday and somebody's in like a ballerina costume.
Exactly.
And you have no idea why.
That's
but
the thing.
It's
If you
Ybor.
sit in Central Ybor with a cigar in your hand, and you sit there and let that thing burn all the way down, you will see every kind of person.
Yeah.
You will see gay people. You will see black, white, Spanish. Doesn't matter. All of them are all around, and not
You'll
just
even
that.
see a couple buttholes.
Yeah, you'll see a couple buttholes.
Yeah.
And not you'll see pretty ones.
Some of it used to be my butthole.
Yeah.
I didn't realize I was gonna know you like that tonight.
Yeah,
All you did was walk by me.
Right. Yeah. You'll see pretty ones. You'll see interesting ones. You'll see a lot of different aspects of the life in Ybor City.
Like Scooby was mentioning Rock Brothers once again, talking about those bay windows and how it effectively was a TV. Like
Right. Oh, you didn't need a TV there. You had TVs, but you didn't watch it.
That parking lot that's directly out.
Oh,
in front.
yeah.
So before
Party time.
after Czar, but before Hotel Hyatt had been built, there was that in between time, and that was kind of not a dead zone, but like a lawless. It was a lawless zone in terms
It was
of
the Wild West.
Right.
And to Scooby's point, when I feel like clubs in general in Tampa used to be go out at midnight, stay right up until 3 o'clock, and then the entire club left at 3. I feel like in the last few years that's shifted. People are starting to leave earlier. They taper out. But back in the day, it was if you were out at a club, you were out at bare minimum until 3.
You were waiting until the sun came.
Right. It was Welcome to Thunderdome.
And everyone from all these places would all get out at the same time. So you had everybody coming from Castle. You had specifically at that parking lot, you were close to Sky, which
is a hip hop spot, you know.
And so from like 3 to like 4:15, it was practically an after-hours club.
Buddy.
In that parking lot.
You get some real entertainment.
There was no hotel, so there wasn't any kind of like enforcement. So you just had people opening up their cars and blasting music till 4:15. Literally nobody in a hurry to go anywhere. They may or may not have brought something out to the car from the club.
Oh boy.
I mean, regularly you would have people on tops of like Jeep Cherokees twerking. Like Freaknik era Atlanta.
Stop in the middle of the intersection.
And that was just like part of the vibe of the day.
It was probably the best part.
Most of the time when we would leave, I would stop because like the majority of these bars and nightclubs also have package licenses. That you don't really know.
You take one with you.
But if you know, you know.
And I would like leave in the castle, and I'd be like, "Hey, let me buy a bottle on my way out." And I would buy a bottle, and
if you're offering,
and like to.
Oh God, I love Scooby.
When we had Jamie on the show, you know, Jamie from the wine bar, she used to live here in Ybor proper.
Oh wow!
And she lived actually right next door to Tom DeGeorge.
I remember her mentioning that. Yeah,
we would leave the castle at close, at lights on, and we would just walk over to their place.
I think he's still sipping.
I'll take a little bit more rye.
Well, that's a little more rye.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And we would just walk, and then we'd party till the sun comes
Right.
up.
Absolutely.
We pack as many. There's one picture out there floating of me as the only dude, and like 12 other naked chicks in her hot tub.
Oh, I believe
and
it.
just arms out,
Sure.
enjoying the life. We had a blast.
Industry people in general would party late just because that's once we got
Yeah.
off. But the city in general partied late.
Oh,
like
yes.
establishments legally closed at 3, but if you knew where to go,
Yes.
There used to be a bottle club in Tampa.
Oh, there was
Yeah.
after
Yeah.
hours. There was a couple after hours.
There's a couple
bars.
really sketchy ones too.
There's,
I showed up to Eyes Wide Shut once. I was like, after hours bottle
there
club. I
you
was
go.
like,
Yeah.
I do not belong here.
Do you remember Till Dawn?
Oh yeah.
Oh fuck! I haven't heard that name in a while.
Jeez
Shit.
Louise. And even outside of Ybor City, that's what you mean. Like till dawn.
Sure.
Four Green Fields will be serving food till 3:30.
Or,
like, it was
or if
crazy.
you want to go real back, at the Hard Rock, there used to be a
Hard
nightclub,
Rock, yeah.
Floyd's, that would go.
I remember that.
was open till 6 a.m.
I had some
So
crazy memories of the Hard Rock.
we would shut down our bar. We would get out of there, 5 o'clock in the morning and go power hour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go to the casino, go out to the club.
God.
Because we were in the industry, it was kind of one of those handshake. Yeah, come in and grab this table.
Right,
and,
exactly.
And it was.
God, to be young again.
Well, and a lot of times at places like Dirty Shame and whatnot,
Yeah.
Sure.
we would just close the curtains, lock
Absolutely.
the doors,
Right.
and stay there till 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning drinking.
Oh yeah, I'm glad that I can tell those stories.
Yes.
but I'm also doubly as glad that it's behind me.
Yes.
I don't.
Yeah.
As a 43-year-old guy,
Yeah.
We're all there where we're
Yeah,
like, man, I couldn't even imagine it.
My previous marriage, like I got so much out of my system. I lived like a rock star.
Yeah.
Like I swear to God, I was the extra member from Motley Crue. Like
and you've partied with a lot of bands and stuff. you know, so-
we were talking about earlier, like Castle. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Dragon Force.
Oh, yeah.
They're one of my favorite, like cheesy, like guilty pleasure bands. And we talked in an episode where they played at Orpheum on a weekend night. And we all ended up at Boneyard afterward. And these dudes,
Rest in peace, Boneyard.
I know.
know.
And that's where I met my wife. Was at Boneyard, but she was actually working the door, and Dragon Force over, and those guys look so fucking bored. And I was chatting up their road manager. He and I were getting along great and all that, and I had procured favors for them.
Sure.
And
That's all I got to say.
and they were like, I told them, I was like, man, your guys look really fucking bored. I was like, you want to go hang out with some hot goth chicks or something? They're like, yes,
Yeah,
fuck
buddy.
yes, or something like that. So
Talked me into it.
so I text the manager at Castle. I was like, hey, I got a band coming. Can we get private access? They're like, yeah, absolutely. So I brought them in, and I partied with Dragon Force the whole goddamn night at Castle. Almost got kicked out.
Fucking legend.
Because, they were going nuts. I had security coming up to me going, who the fuck did you bring in here? 'Cause people are trying to sneak into the club. Like, they're trying to get in exit doors and
Sure.
shit.
Yeah, buddy.
And
Well,
so I partied with them till close, and then we went back to their tour bus and just partied at the bus. And by the time my wife got off shift at like 5 a.m. when she was finally done, looking for me because I wasn't answering my phone, finds me at the tour bus. I'm still ripping shots with the band. They're chasing chickens all over the fucking
Yeah, 'cause by then they were waking up. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, and they came back like 7 years later, and Andre, the manager, texted me. He goes, hey, we're in town. Can we go back to that nightclub?
Yeah.
I was like,
Fucking legend.
I'm like, dude, you're playing a fucking Tuesday night. I was like, nothing's open but the Orpheum. Yeah. But it was a hell of a time.
Oh, that's great.
All right,
Yeah.
before
I still
we-
talk to those
we're
dudes.
We're up to an hour and a half here, which I love. We could do 3 hours.
Man,
with you
I
guys.
really could.
But
I really could.
I do want to ask before we finish this all up. Okay, so Ybor City, where we're going now. What's the vision? What do you guys think of it?
Man, that's kind of hard to say.
Right.
I really hope that there are a few visionaries here, and I hope they take it to the root and bring it back to the community.
Yeah.
I mean, look, most people don't know that we have that baseball history museum here.
I love that museum.
Love
dude.
that.
Some big names came out of Ybor
I live by
City.
the park. I live by Cascaden.
Yeah,
That's
I mean,
where
the
baseball legends came out of. that
Right,
place.
Tampa Smokers.
Yeah.
But you have that. You have the Ybor City History Museum. Like Not tonight, but I mean the Columbia. The Columbia is a wealth of history for the city.
A lot of people don't know. There's a visitor center here, which has a small museum in it and a movie about Ybor City.
That visitor center is completely worthwhile.
Oh, it's so good.
It really is. Man, it really is.
It's a 7-minute movie. It's narrated by Ferdy Pacheco, the man himself, one of the legends that came out of Ybor City and became worldwide famous. It's worth going to that visitor center.
That info center is well worth it. If you're at all interested in the neighborhood.
They have books about Ybor. They have chicken socks you can buy if you want some chicken socks.
Several good books.
I mean, I'm getting ready probably later this year to get my chicken tattoo.
Yeah. I think we all should eventually. Do that.
I think it's time. I mean, I'm born and raised in Tampa, so I got my YC tattoo years ago. Now it's probably time for my chicken.
You know, it's funny. Tourists are always enamored with the chickens. Like, you know how like when people talk about New York City and they're like, how do you spot a tourist? They're looking up. How do you spot a tourist in Ybor? They're taking pictures of the chicken.
They're taking pictures of it.
I mean, to that, I mean, I post them on my Instagram every now and then.
Oh yeah, they're beautiful.
Actually,
they're great.
Some of those get some of the most likes out of the things I take. Because they are such pretty birds. I'm like, oh, look at this handsome.
Well, you got to remember, they're descendants of fighting cocks. They're literal like champions.
Well, I mean, but that's the thing. Like people like start. I'm like, hey, look, the chickens have more rights than you. And
real shit.
I'm like, look, I could punch you and you could punch me.
Yeah, and then they'll just walk away.
The cops aren't going to ship. But you touch that chicken, you might get a free ride in that car.
Yeah.
You can get up to a $50,000 fine.
Right.
And up to 3 or 6 months in jail.
Right.
I'm like, they literally have more rights than you because they are city property.
Yeah.
They're protected there.
The ones on my block I feed very well because I'm kind of a prepper.
Yeah.
And if shit hits the fan, that's secondary food supply. Yeah. And that's my second family. I have pictures.
I'll eat the eggs, but I'm not eating them.
Yeah, I was going to say,
I would not want to fuck with an Ybor chicken.
I have pictures of me on my front porch surrounded with chickens. My wife came out once.
Yeah.
And she's like, you're like fucking Ybor Snow White.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is my second family, the Hensons. Thank you.
You're feeding them well, but also we've seen what they eat.
Yeah, that's fine.
They're eating throw up. They're eating cigarette butts. They're eating.
I once saw one eating a chicken wing.
Yeah, that's just sad.
Man, I eat ass. I will eat an Ybor chicken.
There you go.
Fair. I mean, push to shove.
All right, okay. On that note, I think it's a good way to wrap everything up. Gentlemen, cheers. One more cheers if you don't mind.
Thank you so much,
Thanks
guys.
so much, guys.
This was great.
This is the Eat Bermuda podcast signing off. Scooby, Kevin, thanks for coming, guys.
So
thanks
things that go in hard and dry and come out soft and wet.
I
Here's
love
the bubble gum,
it.
you sick fuck.
Appreciate it. Here's a push and rope.